Gary B.
Oh, that's Gary. Hi, Gary. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Hey, can you see us?
I can see you.
Great.
Fucking amazing.
Thank you. We're 3 minutes early. I think we should probably wait, yeah? For
Yeah, well, that's why I just dropped the F-bomb, because I knew we weren't recording or live.
get it out of your system.
And you know, if we were, oh well, you know. I mean, hey guys, sorry I'm not there.
That's okay.
That's all right. Good evening to you.
I know, this is my very last one and you're not here. I wanted to say goodbye to everybody in person, but
Yeah, I made it.
I don't think this is your last one.
we'll see.
But
Well, you know,
I don't.
Dave is here.
I don't
And I
know.
said the same thing. I said, I doubt that this is your last.
When did your term expire?
No, it's not like that. I'm
Because you're like,
a de facto part of the, because mayor's aide is automatically, can I?
listen, I think it's no choice.
Oh, wait, I have to mute this. Sorry, hold on. Let me mute this for 2 more minutes. Okay, it is 5 o'clock on the dot. Can I call this meeting to order? Second. There we go. Roll call. I am Justin Weaver, ADA coordinator and mayor's aide.
Tyler Kreisman, Commissioner. David Marston. Member.
David is in the house.
Gary.
Gary Conlon,
Hey, Gary.
representative from the Common Council.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Gary could not be here in person, so he is virtual as just witnessed. So, Gary, I did a quick agenda just so we had something to follow, unless you have something that you prepared.
Actually, I'm connected via cell, and I don't suspect it's going to be this good consistently. So I would like to report a follow-up from the last meeting, if you don't mind.
We'll start with you then. Yep.
Thank you very much. So as we discussed last month, that we were going to be presenting a budget to eventually to the Common Council, and initially to Heather and Tom, and and so we've done that, and it pretty much follows the strategy we were looking for. We had, we queried whether or not some of the assessment funds from SID could be used to gap the budget gap. And the answer is no to that. So we can use the funds to repay the loan, and or to continue further construction and adhering and creating further compliance with the ADA. And so that's what we did. We are initially this year repaying the loan, the initial loan of $50,000. There's, because of accounting purposes, there's another couple of thousand in there. When we finally get the numbers finalized, obviously we'll be publishing them. And so therefore, the roughly $250,000 from the $307,000 that we will be receiving from the SID assessment will be used for further construction moving forward. So I think that gives us a sort of marching orders in terms of, it's winter time now. Let's start figuring out what are our priorities, and so we can get those bids out there through Crawford and Associates. We also have for tomorrow's Common Council meeting a resolution continuing Crawford and Associates as the project manager for the SID initiative. Finally, a part of the law requires and calls for the public review of the SID budget. And so we are calling for a public hearing and a special meeting towards the end of December to ratify the budget.
I believe that was December 22nd, right? For the public
I-
hearing?
Yeah, I think it is. I've been on the road all day and it's been kind of, so I don't remember, but that sounds right. Yeah. So, I think that's it. Unless anyone has any questions, I'll turn it back over to you, Justin.
Any questions, anyone?
Yeah, I had a quick question. So we're only paying 50,000 back this year? Is what did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't hear you all that well, but yes, we are paying back to the initial loan we received, $50,000.
Okay.
And the strategy there, starting low, and we'll negotiate in terms of how we do this. But we had discussed at last meeting that we would phase in with low payments for the first couple of years so that we really get a lot of work done in terms of building towards ADA compliance. And then starting to increase the amount of payment, and over a course of a number of years, pay back 100%.
And Gary, as I understand it, the 307 or 309,000 that we are, in a sense, making off of the sidewalk assessments, none of that money can be used to repay the loan. So that money specifically has to go towards sidewalk improvements. And we were initially given 500,000. We did not spend all of that 500,000. So in essence, we are just returning 50,000 of that money that we still have as remainder in our budget. Correct?
You could look at it that way, but I think you said, Justin, that we cannot repay the initial loan. That is not correct. We can pay the initial loan.
Okay.
We could pay.
Yep.
We could decide that we're going to pay all 307 of it right now, and shut down the SID initiative.
Okay.
And whether the Common Council would agree to that or not is a different story.
Okay.
So yeah, that is, we cannot do anything other than that. So what I was trying to say was that, so right now we have a $300,000 gap in the budget.
Right,
And you know, we're gonna have to be addressing it with amendments and the whole bit. The question we had was, can any of the $307,000 that is captured through the SID assessment, can that be used towards that 300,000 budget gap? The
gotcha,
answer
okay,
to that is no.
that makes sense, okay. All right, I know that Ryan, our project manager, has another, meeting to go to, so Ryan, did you wanna give us an update from the project manager perspective?
Sure. Good evening, Brian Lobster Crawford and Associates. So there hasn't been a lot that's been going on this month. I know we've kind of helped Gary out a few times with making sure the documents were in order for the tax rolls and making sure they were shared electronically and in paper form, as well as throwing together some budgeting information for next year. I know that there's plans of future work, so we're at the point now where once the city has a plan moving forward, we can start working on that next phase. And continue on with whatever the next step for the city is. The only thing I would throw out there, again, Gary, also to consider is the $1 million grant. I think that LaBerge put in may or may not come back around the beginning of the year, at least an answer. So that could also adjust the loan as well, or the money that could be returned back if, you know, the city was
Yep.
$4 million, maybe more money would go back in that other side. I think we talked about that 2 meetings ago,
Yep.
maybe. So
Yep.
just another food for thought there. So that's kind of all I have for this evening.
You said it wouldn't come back by the first of the year, so what are they expecting?
Usually,
February, March, April?
I think we were guesstimating by the end of January, we should have some sort of response as to whether or not we are awarded anything on that.
Right.
and that would be through LaBerge, not through CNA, so I wouldn't get an update, but they would be in contact with the city.
Okay. So as we move forward to plan the next phase, we can, we can have two.
So
Whether we get the grant, whether we don't get the grant, kind of ideas.
So there are two paths you could take. You could look at investing the time in reviewing the areas that the grant would cover for construction. Because the way that grant was set up was they were doing 100% for the construction cost.
Yep.
So if the city funded the design and the upfront cost on, CNA's time or whoever's time to develop plans for it. If you were awarded the grant, then you could pursue, the construction piece with the grant. Or you could pick a completely different area and leave that just all for the grant. And, there's two different strategies you could look at there. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is a report from your ADA coordinator. That's me. I just want to say that there are meaningful conversations now happening between the city and Louise and Creighton Manning to wrap up that DRI project finally. There has been a pay rec submitted for 400,000. If you remember correctly, we've been holding on to like 600,000 because we had no communication. Communication's now happening. A pay rec of 400,000 was put in, which we are going to grant because we have the balls rolling and moving in the right direction. So it looks like the work that was listed on the punch list from Arterial is going to happen in the spring, and that is correcting all the granite sets that were put in uneven, different pavers, and just little touch-up things that are obvious to somebody in this profession. So it looks like things are going in the right direction. Finally, communication's happening, and that will be buttoned up, thankfully. So that's the ADA portion. The next, any questions on that? The next item is our mailer, Gary. I sent the mailer. This is what we're gonna send out to residents talking about the Sidewalk Improvement District, talking about how they can submit for credit for any of the work done on their sidewalk within the last 10 years. all of that information, Gary. I took some of what you did, you put together, that update, which we have on the city website as to the work we've been doing, where we're currently at, where we're going, that is on the city website. I took some of that, I added some other stuff, and I have this one pager, and that I sent to you and Tyler for review, but I also brought it here, so we don't need to make a decision on this today. However, I have spoken with Sherry in DPW, and in order to get this mailer out in January with the water bills, she has to have it in her hands no later than this Friday, the 19th. So, hopefully we can make a decision quickly. And if there needs to be any, oh, go ahead.
I'll get back to you tomorrow with any feedback.
Yep, any corrections, I can quickly make them, and as long as everybody approves, I'll just walk it right over to Sherry, hand it to her. Boom, boom, boom.
Thank you.
We were able to get a lot more information on this one. We were able to actually put the city of Hudson seal on it, so it doesn't look all slapped together. So, it looks pretty polished. I think last year we devoted one whole side to examples of how we come up with the assessment. This time, what I did was just added the link to the website, where if they just click that, it'll bring up the assessment on the city website. So it saves us a lot. It gives us a lot more space to actually put information. So I think
Great.
this,
And I'm sorry to interrupt, that we really want to highlight that here's, check out your, SID assessment. So they can
Yes.
review it. Yeah. Which
That
has been
was-
online and we have highlighted it, but still, we want to continue to, if you will, promote it.
yes, we could also, if you want me to like do a special section on the Public Works Board page with a link to the assessments that were put out by the county. We do have that on the website already, but people might not know to find it where it's located on the city website. I can certainly add that link onto our specific Public Works Board page to make it easier. So it'll be in two places on the website, if everybody wants that to happen.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. And Ryan and I were having a field day a couple days ago, I think maybe it was last Friday, where we were clicking the link, and it's a doozy to try to find your specific property assessment, even when you have the link. So I think maybe I'll include directions on what to do. You have to go to, it's not a search button. Normally you're going to search for your property. You have to go to tools. And then, it's a little bit wonky. So I think it'll be helpful to put directions on there. So I can do that. I'll take care of that.
That's great, Justin.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. As for the credit applications, I don't know, we should probably decide when we're gonna start accepting new ones. And probably not till the new year, but that's just something to keep in mind, have a date in mind when we want to advise people to start filling those out and turning those in. I won't be here, so we'll have to determine who is gonna be that person to collect new credit applications for sidewalk work done. I will keep everybody in mind that, we had a date of May 1st this last time around, in which people had to get their applications in if they were claiming credit. So keep that in mind. And the final tax rolls with the county, the date is July 1st. So those are just some dates to keep in mind.
When did we open it up last year?
Trying to remember.
I think the form wasn't officially, I think people were sending things in before you guys had the form prepared. But I guess the other question I was gonna say is the Tyler is having the deadline in May. Did you feel there was enough time when we got the ones, or when the last ones were submitted on or around May 1st to be able to review, and did that give you enough time?
Yeah, I think it was enough time. I just, if we open it up sooner, then we're not waiting till the last minute to do every single one.
Sure, I mean, you could open up January 1st.
You could open up January 1st.
Yeah, why not be proactive?
And,
I mean,
that's your call, because, that's your responsibility. So whatever works best for you.
Yeah, and then this way, we get them done as they come in.
Well,
Yeah.
just keep in mind, this is our last Public Works Board meeting for this month. So if you open it up January 1st, we would have to tell people where to send those in, where to find it now, today, in this meeting. So I would say, just to be on the safe side, February 1st.
Yeah, and you know what else I'm thinking too is smell. You know, there might be some stuff that's
I mean,
covered.
my initial idea was March 1st. I think that's more than enough time. You have all of March, all of April, what did I say, May 1st? I mean, but I wouldn't say January 1st. You need some time to figure out who's
Yeah.
gonna be collecting the applications,
Right,
how you're gonna go about, you know,
there's gonna
so
be a lot of transition.
you guys can figure that out in January, but just keep that in mind.
Okay.
But
I
we
think-
have we have the process in place. Well, we created it last year.
Yeah,
They have 3 options in which to submit,
yeah,
a credit request. With the exemptions, again, that's, that doesn't change. They go to the county for that. So the process is in place. And so I'd like to move forward thinking about it so
the only trepidation I have with that, Gary, is that I was the one that was collecting all of those, organizing all of those, filing all of those. So with me not being here in January, I'm just
Yeah,
worried that they're gonna float around and if one goes missing, you can't have one go missing, right? So I just wanna be cautious. I'm erring on the side of caution. So.
fair enough.
Unless,
Okay.
unless we figure it out by the end of this year, who's gonna,
We can talk, we can see how the transition happens in January, and then we can either label it February or March 1st.
There you go.
yeah. I mean, we've done a lot of work and I don't want it to fall apart. I want everything to go smoothly and I can't control this, so I'm just trying to ride with it, so.
Fair enough.
Yeah, also Dave, welcome.
Thanks.
Where have you been?
Well,
You okay?
I'm okay,
You're good?
thanks.
I do have attendance on here. I was speaking with Crystal, our attorney, and it's important that people come to meetings. This isn't a lecture, but it's important work. And when people aren't here, it's more work on other people. So that's all I'm gonna say. We're happy to have you.
Thanks.
We miss you.
I miss being here.
Does anybody have anything else here on the board before we open it up to public questions? No. Anybody in the public have a question? Lloyd,
Just curious, I probably should know this, but who did the Public Works, the city get the loan from that you're gonna be paying?
the loan came from the general fund, correct, Jerry? Jerry, Jesus,
Gary?
Gary.
Correct.
Lloyd's question was, who did we get the loan from? It was from the general fund,
Correct.
It was the city transfer.
correct?
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that it?
Has the transition team reached out to you at all about
No.
handing off any of this stuff?
Not about this specifically. I will defer to the mayor. He's already made comments on that.
Okay,
I do know that there was an attempt to reach out right before Thanksgiving. We did respond, but now things seem to be a little hairy. So, I'm gonna defer to the mayor to speak on what the plan is with transition, but. Yes, Lloyd.
But it's, and just me recently speaking with Joe, he's of the idea that he reached out before Thanksgiving and hasn't heard back. Well, he told me like 2 or 3 days ago, so I don't know, it seems like there might be miscommunication.
Yeah, I don't wanna entertain any hearsay back and forth about this because I don't know.
Well, that's what
Fair
I-
enough.
Yeah.
Good point.
All right, well, I just want to say on a personal note, it's been my pleasure to serve on this board. I have loved working with each and every one of you. I never realized that I would have such a fondness for sidewalks. But I do now, and, I think, wherever I go, I think of that, disabled person that
Hey,
does not have the luxury that able-bodied people might have. So I hope that we can all keep that in mind when we're going forward.
And Justin, if I can say, the board would not be nearly as effective as it is without you. Your conscientiousness has, really been, outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the amount of labor that you've put in, both as ADA coordinator and as just a member of this board has been, it's been a lot. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I second it too. I told you earlier, the city's gonna be, the city's gonna miss you for sure. I mean, you do a heck of a lot of stuff that, people don't see on a day-to-day basis, and
right?
the things that you turn around so quickly are, it's gonna be tough to replace.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, before I cry, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Second.
Bye,
All right,
Gary.
happy holidays, everybody.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Gary.
How'd I do, Jim?
You were great, Lloyd.
Thank you.